Liberty football goes to the state of Alabama on a business trip, and we get a little hearsay from our girl, Emily Austin.
That's right. Plus, Liberty soccer is rounding into form on the pitch, and we take you to the water with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes Surf Camp. It's Flame Central, and it starts now.
Another week of college football and another win for the Flames. Hey everybody, welcome on into Flame Central. I'm Rhett, she's Emily. And Emily, there is some concern for LU against Troy as announced shortly before the game. There were some significant pieces that weren't playing.
That's right, Red. On the defensive side of the ball, star DN Darrell Johnson was not available, along with your guy, impact player Christian Zachary, plus the offensive line full of young faces.
Now, despite this tough news, Liberty would still impress in this game. Let's head to Veterans Memorial Stadium. Both the Trojans and the Flames coming into this game sitting at 1-0 on the year. Troy scoring on their first drive. Liberty would look to respond, and it would be Demario Douglas. Willis would cap off the 75-yard drive with a 32-yard dime to Douglas, who would find pay dirt for the second straight game. Midway through the second quarter, the Flames would fail to convert on 3rd and goal. Hugh Freeze, he gets the big bodies out there for the 4th down, and the Flames would get it done. Willis connects with tight end Jerome Jackson at the back of the end zone to put the Flames on top. Liberty would head into the half up 14-7. Fast forward to the 4th quarter. Willis would scramble for 20 yards to keep the drive alive. After a pair of strong runs from TJ Green, Willis would call his own number on a 4-yard run for the touchdown. LU goes up 21-7. Late stages of the 4th, it looked as if the Trojans were dead in the water. However, with LU set to add 3 to their total, Troy would block the field goal, and it would give them life. Powell would bomb one downfield to put Troy on the 2-yard line with over 2 minutes remaining. However, the Flames' defense would stand tall. A Story Jackson sack would force a 4th and goal. Powell would find Lewis, however, for 6, but that is close as the Trojans would get. Liberty leaves Troy with a 21-13 victory, and despite it not being the Flames' cleanest game, Coach Freeze was still pleased with the win.
I couldn't be, happier with coming on the road and beating a good Troy team and going back to Lynchburg tonight 2-0. It's just, did we play our best? No. Did I coach my best? No. But at the end of the day, man, I thought our kids played every snap with great energy and passion.
We hit some plays, yes, but we didn't hit on all cylinders, and we weren't the efficient scoring machine that we need to be in order to be successful this season. We got to go out there and execute at practice so we can execute on Saturdays.
Gotta love how Malik and Coach Freeze are on the same page. So critical even after a win. Okay, so did you hear what they're saying about the Flames and quarterback Malik Willis all over social media? Oh, you missed it? Don't worry, I got you covered in our new segment, Hearsay with EA. I look all over the internet for the best post on LU. First, we check in with PFF College and their latest obsession with Malik Willis. We're only 2 games into the college football season, and these guys have Willis going to the Texans with the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Love the hype. And then check out the love on the Flames. Tennessee transfer QB Caden Salter is embracing his role and showing appreciation for his teammate Malik Willis. Liberty football has some pretty good content. If you're not following them, you're missing some great shots like this. Hurdle champion TJ Green and Air Boozy. Not sure if you guys saw the news, but our friend Steve from Blues Clues put out a video after, 20 years, and who knew? He's a Liberty Flames football fan, so check the mail. If you want to be a part of Hearsay with EA, be sure to get on social media and make your post today.
I look forward to following the Malik hype all year long. Well, for Liberty University, winning is important. There's no doubting that, as you have seen Liberty athletics rise to new heights. But the school's highest priority is training champions for Christ. In order to do that, you need good men coaching. Men who love the Lord second to none. Men like Ben Aigamaua.
Oh yeah, every day you get to wake up is a blessing.
Coach Freeze gives us the challenge of capturing the hearts and minds of our players.
Good, Trev.
There are kids in my room that don't come from a background that have a strong male figure. I want to be the person that steps in between it. I want to be the guy that's going to help you and show you what a father looks like, show you what a husband looks like.
What do you do? What's this?
I grew up in a small island in the South Pacific. It's called American Samoa. It's a very small U.S. territory. In our culture, God comes first, then family second. So the family part of it is very important.
Faith and family are important, and so is football.
Football was the biggest sport back home. That was your ticket off the island.
A scholarship offer would lead Aigamaua to Lambeth University, where he excelled at defensive tackle for the small school in West Tennessee. While there, a coaching change would do more than just affect his play on the field. It would also help guide him back to his faith.
Coach Freeze came into my life my junior year. The thing that stood out for me was his faith. When I was younger, my mom passed when I was 9. And so growing up, my mom was my rock as in the faith walk. Losing my mom at a young age, there was a hole as far as my walk with God, and it just got bigger and bigger the older I got. And when I saw Coach Freeze and I saw him talked about God and the things that he's done in his life, and the consistency that he showed, I kind of made that decision. You know what, God, I'm gonna give you another shot. Okay, you took my mom away from me at a young age. I decided to live my life on my own, and I'm gonna give you another shot at this, and I wanna see what you're gonna do with it. Man, I just saw God just working in me and just trying to slowly change my life. It wasn't an overnight change. There were a lot of habits that I created in that time span that weren't good, so those habits had to change. But I can just see God's hand over me in a lot of ways.
After his playing days came to an end, Aigamaua would pursue the coaching profession and eventually follow his mentor to Ole Miss. Ben would marry his college sweetheart, Kendra, and they looked forward to starting a family. But once again, his faith would be tested.
I think it was 2016 where we were expecting Lily, our daughter, our firstborn. As a father, you know, you always have this perfect picture of what it looks like and what it is to have a daughter. They always say, you know, girls will change a dad's heart in a hurry. And, you know, the excitement, the happiness, the joy me and Kendra felt, man, it was awesome. And then the next day, the nurse came in. You know, we thought it was just, hey, you know, Lily's doing great. Everything checks out. So she walks in. She sits down with Kendra and I, and she said Lily has Down syndrome. You know, so at that time, the joy just goes into just the questions. You know, the questions that I had as a 9-year-old kid of, God, why'd you just take my mom away? Now we're back in this spot of, it's my baby girl. You know, why me? And, you know, I'm not proud of that moment when I look back at it, just because I told God, you know, I'm gonna trust you through everything. And then we got more news of her heart. They say kids with Down syndrome have holes in their heart, and Lily has a hole in her heart. And we're probably gonna need to have surgery, open heart surgery and all this thing. And so there it is again. I'm saying, God, okay, what is it? What is it you want from me? I had to make a decision, and I said, God, you know what? I'm gonna trust you with my baby girl.
It was in these moments that the Lord would show Ben that he is faithful.
2 weeks later, we got in the car. We were ready to go see the cardiologist and just have a plan for her surgery, her open heart surgery. He came back out to see us in the lobby. He just looked at us with just confusion, with loss of words, and he just say, "Hey guys, we don't need to do any type of surgery or anything." And I was just, hold on, what's going on? Is everything okay? And he said, the hole in her heart closed. And so that was, you know, God's kind of wink to me, like, I told you I got you. You just need to trust me. So ever since that day, Kendra and my faith just kind of skyrocketed from there.
I always told Ben, like, she's the one that really saved my life. because I was just kind of going through the motions of, you know, religion and Christianity and all of that. And then when we had her, I really, it just kind of broke me. And so we just kind of had to build again and trust in the Lord. How much do I owe you?
Thank you, sir.
The Aigamawas are now a family of 4. Lily is a thriving big sister and a testament to God's provision.
Every time I see her, I just see God working in her, and that's just my reminder, like, hey, if you have any doubts today, it's got to go out of your mind, because she's a living miracle for you.
Is your shoulders vertical? Come back, come back, come back! Oh! Hey! I go here, boom, open.
Ben's life experiences have taught him that family extends well beyond the walls of his home. Now coaching tight ends for Hugh Freeze and the Liberty Flames, he recognizes the incredible role he gets to play in the lives of his players.
For me, success is yes, it's great to win football games. It's great to do X's and O's. But the real success, I tell my guys, is 20 years from now, what does your life look like? I want to be able to see you being an awesome father, being an awesome husband.
Well, just a powerful testimony, and a great job by our own Jonah Jabor producing this piece. And I love how Coach said he got a God wink, and I think that's so true. So many times in our life, if we are open to it and looking at what the Lord is doing in our life, I think there are those winks from the Lord that's saying, hey, if you remain faithful to me, I will remain faithful to you.
Yes, absolutely beautiful testimony, like you said. And, we say this all the time. Coach Freeze runs this program like a family. It's so cool to see Lily and Ben and the Aigamaua family around the facilities. We are just so blessed to have them here on the mountain.
Yeah, definitely. All right, turning our attention to soccer now. After a tough start to the season on the road for the Liberty men, they would return home with a 1-3 record in hopes of building momentum off a win over Radford. Next in their path would be the Gardner-Webb Runnin' Bulldogs. A gorgeous night at Osborne Stadium. The Flames would look to win their home opener. We head to the 37th minute, where the Flames would earn an opportunity on the penalty. Mark Matrevsky would be given the chance to open the scoring, and he would make no mistake, bearing on the right side to give LU a 1-0 lead. Just 4 minutes later, check out the moves by Gora. Oh my, crosses it, and Catanzarite would find the cage. That would be enough for the Flames, as they would win their second game in a row by a score of 2-1.
We're at the Lady Flames. They say anything you can do, I can do better. Looking for their 4th straight win as Liberty hosts Longwood. The Lady Flames controlled this one from the start. 8 minutes in, and Alexis Salazar sets it up perfectly for Maddie Oliver, who puts it in the back of the net. It's 1-0 Liberty. Later in the game, 56th minute, it's 3-0 Lady Flames at this point. Meredith King joins in on the scoring fine. She said, I can just do it all by myself. It was a blowout in this one. 5-0 victory for the Lady Flames. They host UNCW up next. Staying on the women's side, Lady Flames cross country is picking up right where they left off last season, and it's Adeline Ackley leading the way for LU in the Virginia Tech Alumni Invitational. Ackley took first, while Callie Doan was close behind her in second. Then Noelle Palmer and Grace Dwyer placed 4th and 5th respectively. Rhett, that's 4 Lady Flames in the top 5, so a clear team victory for Liberty to open the season. Staying on the course for our 50th anniversary celebration of Liberty University.
Yeah, you just saw the ladies dominate. Well, this former cross-country star knew all about domination as well. Josh McDougall, who had one of the best careers in Liberty athletics history, would save his best moment for last.
November 19th, 2007. 14-time All-American Josh McDougall capped off his Liberty cross-country career with a national championship in Terre Haute, Indiana. He outran Oregon's Galen Rupp down the stretch to win by just 1 second with a time of 29 minutes, 22 4/10 seconds. With his 23rd career victory, McDougall became the first men's athlete in Liberty history to capture an NCAA Division I national championship.
Coming up, the moving backstory behind the Fellowship of Christian Athletes surf program.
And we ramp up with Warm, Hot, and Fuego. That's when Flame Central returns.
home. It's a feeling that can't quite be put into words. It's a collection of memories, the experiences that make you who you are. Home is the place that brings together people who matter to you. For some, it's the family you're born with. For others, the family you choose. Home is always changing, always growing, but the heart of what makes it special remains the same. The legacy of those who also called this place home lives on. And now, we come home. We remember our past, celebrate the present, and embrace the future. This is Liberty. This is home.
God's calling for your life can be specific, and at Liberty, we're committed to equipping you to pursue that calling. Choose from more than 300 residential programs of study, or design your own major through interdisciplinary studies, and be confident your major is the perfect fit. No matter how specific your calling, you'll find a program of study to match at Liberty University, and become your best as a champion for Christ.
First responders, you proudly serve. You are faithful to the call to serve your community, the call to protect, the call to save lives. Just as you honor God through your calling, at Liberty University, we're called to honor you by saving you money so you can earn a degree that prepares you today for whatever calls tomorrow.
Welcome back to Flame Central. Laura Matera received a master's degree in counseling from Liberty, but her plans of becoming a counselor would quickly shift. She would learn sometimes when life is going perfectly well, the tides can change. She would also learn, though you can't stop the waves, if you follow the Lord, you can move with them.
I married my husband in 1995. He was a surfer himself, just had an incredible passion for surf and skate, and also with that had incredible passion to share Jesus Christ with his community. After we had been married a couple years and were getting ready to have our second child, he came home and he said, I'm going into full-time ministry with Christian Surfers United States. So 4 years we spent with Christian surfers ministering to our community through the sports of surf and skate. And after 4 years, we transitioned to FCA. So I was running alongside of my husband, Joe, as he was doing all of these things. And then our kids were running alongside him too. And so we were a complete family unit when we began the camp 18 years ago. In 2010, he and I both began to feel, coming out of that summer, that God was going to do something new in our life. And I mean, we were excited because things were going so well for us. I mean, we felt like we were a bit of a golden family. You know, we were enjoying our life. We had 3 sweet girls and we were in ministry. And in December of 2010, he had a minor surgery and was diagnosed with terminal cancer. It really took our breath away because we realized in that moment that this is what God had been preparing us for. So now here we were, you know, in the last 6 months of his life. And so 6 months came and went, and we did everything we could to keep him going. We pursued every single thing there was to be healthy and whole. And so God granted us 2.5 years, which was amazing. We were going into our summer in 2013, and he started to feel sick, and he started to go down. We run an 8-week camp season. He died 4 weeks in on a Sunday night. And I remember being afraid to fall asleep that night because I would wake up the next day and he wouldn't be there. But I also remember waking up the next morning and I had 3 young girls and I was like, we are standing up so that people will see and know and consider and understand that it's holy God that has kept us together. So we stood up, we went to camp, and we went to camp because it's the only place we knew. These camps are different because the sports of surfing and skateboarding and all of action sports is different than a traditional ball sport. Here in action sports, relationship is infused in all those spaces. We're creating relationship at the park. We're creating relationship in the water. We're creating relationship on the beach. And so what a joy to take a sport that already has a relational component and then introduce a relationship with Jesus Christ. We want them to leave with an idea of what the sport of surfing is like, and then to see them grow athletically during that week. But we also want to make sure that everybody that comes to camp has an opportunity to understand who Jesus Christ is, what he has done for them, to walk away knowing that God loves them and that they can invite him into their hearts and they can be in a personal relationship with him. I know that my call into ministry is a personal one. I know that God has called me to be in the places that I am. I always joke that in all the time that we spent together, from the time he got sick to the time he passed away, we talked a lot about who would take over the ministry, but my name never came up. After that year was over, I felt a true calling to do ministry full-time through the work of FCA in our community. It's the 8th anniversary of my husband's going to heaven. Since the beginning, we go out to the beach early in the morning and we swim and surf in the sea. But we also spend that day doing ministry. It's the day where we have the most people in our life. There's an incredible honor in not only doing the things that he loved, because that's an important thing, but also in serving the God that he dedicated his life to. I shared with my staff last week, I said, you are living a dream. You are living a dream. And I'm assuming that most of them were thinking, you're right. I'm standing on the beach. I'm in the water. I'm a teenager. I'm getting paid to be with my friends and surf, right? I'm living a dream. But the dream was, that Joe Matera had a desire to share Jesus Christ through the sports of surfing and skating, and that was his dream. But he never fully realized his dream, and other people are living it now.
Amazing work the Matera family is doing to spread the gospel, and great story produced by our Tyler Beatty. Before we get to Warm, Hot, and Fuego, we want to mention some exciting news for a former Flame who made plenty of appearances on Warm, Hot, and Fuego, Georgie Pacheco Ortiz. He's currently playing pro ball in Puerto Rico and was recently named to the Baloncesto Superior Nacional All-Star team. Pacheco Ortiz averages 11.8 points per game and has been a big reason for the success of his team, Brujos de Guyana.
Nice
so
work.
I think that my trip over to Spain for my study abroad is paying off. Do you want to do WEF?
No, I'm going to pass. I struggle enough with English.
This is our next segment, Warm, Hot, and Fuego. Rhett breaks down the top 3 moments, plays, or players of the week. We don't have a theme because you only do that with Matt Warner.
Yes.
So I guess maybe in the future we'll have a theme when I'm
when we
hosting.
get to that level. Hey, let's start with Warm here, okay? Big moment in my mind, Story Jackson, the sack he had towards the end of the game. So Troy's coming on here. They are doing some amazing stuff. They just get that blocked field goal. They're coming downfield. It feels like, they got a chance here. There's about 2 minutes left. And then Story Jackson just blitzes off the line in a fury, and then he hands back the towel. What a nice guy. He's like, hey, clean yourself up a little bit. It's going to be okay. You got a chance here on 4th down. But a huge defensive stand here by LU. Story Jackson with that sack was key, kept the clock going, and it put Liberty in a really good spot.
This defense has been so fun to watch, and he's been a great addition, Story Jackson. Okay, from warm, we move to hot. Who do we have?
Here's another moment for men's soccer against Gardner-Webb. Now, I want to set this up for you a little bit. Okay, Madondo gets the PK. He buries on the right side. He wants to get the ball as quick as he can to get it back to midfield so they can get things going. But do you see that there? A little bit of chirping going on by Madondo. He's like, I'm going to get you, buddy. Moments later, Madondo, another opportunity. Blake Franzen comes up with a huge blockade. He just shuts that thing down. Men's soccer goes on to win 2-1. What a save there by Franzen, though. Just laying it all out there. It was a thing of beauty. Absolutely loved it. You got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. And Blake Franzen was that right there. Yeah.
Love it. All right, from hot, we go to En Fuego, which is, just on theme for our segment.
Yeah, totally. All right, women's soccer here. Their offense lately has been huge. Now, they played 18 games in the spring semester, okay? How many goals do you think they scored in 18
21.
games? All right, it was 17. You're pretty doggone close. In the last 4 games for Liberty Soccer, they have scored 13 goals. Their offense has been at another level. Look at that. Beautiful strike up top. This is the thing I love, though. It's not all in close. It's not all crosses. Some of these ladies have had tremendous individual efforts where they have just been able to bury it from distance. But again, you usually think about a Coach Wiedemeyer's team as a defense-first unit. Over the course of the last 4 games, they have held their defensive stance, but also have been able to bury it in the back of the net. Like I said, with 13 goals, if they can continue this kind of offensive contribution, and it's not just from their main strikers, it's from depth players as well, they are going to be in really good shape.
See, not just Liberty football that's having success this season. Great job, Rhett. Hey, guys, have you heard about our Flames Fantasy League? Rhett's not very good. Things are starting to heat up. More Flame Central next.
Where you train is where you learn how to say, I know this. I've done this. I've got this. I'm ready. So you can surpass expectations when they say you're hired. At Liberty University, you'll train in world-class facilities as you prepare for a world-class career.
Hey there, friends. Thanks for sticking around to see just how bad I am at drafting a Flames fantasy team.
Be easy on yourself, Rhett. Joe Yock is struggling just as bad. In case you didn't know, we have a Flames Fantasy League going on. Each team selected 5 players, 3 offense, 2 defense, no QBs. Here's our teams. Let's look at our updated standings.
Matt Warner running away with it.
Yes, but Rhett, you did come, catch up a little bit. Joe is just struggling. You know what's interesting, though? Matt Warner is in the lead, and he's the one taking score. How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to definitely look into that. But if you want more in-depth Flames football coverage at home, make sure you check out our Flames Central podcast.
Definitely download that. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here next week. For Rhett, I'm Emily.